It's time to get nostalgic about all the Deadpool video games I got to work on. Does this one even count? Hey, Chris Baker here. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you probably know that I worked in Marvel's video game division for about 7 years. Usually I'm relating that experience to talking about Spider-Man games, but I'm hyped for Deadpool and Wolverine, so it seems like a good time to reflect on my work that featured the Merc with a mouth. And if you need some good Wolvie content, check out this video right here. In fact, I did almost as much with Deadpool as I did with Spidey. By my count, I worked on a total of 11 games that featured Deadpool. 10 if you don't count X-Men Origins Wolverine, and really, I can't blame you. I even had a hand in stuff like costumes for Xbox avatars. Anyway, in no particular order, here are a few of my personal favorite contributions to a handful of games that feature Deadpool.
Yoo-hoo! Watch me, Mommy! Watch me! Ta-da! Live and in person, the one, the only, Deadpool! Oh, look at you.
What about me?
Nah, I thought you'd be taller. Oh well, we just won't use a lot of wide lenses. Deadpool!
Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions featured the Ultimate Universe's version of Deadpool, though some hardcore fans might question that fact. You see, in the one comic book story that featured Ultimate Deadpool, Brian Michael Bendis wrote him as a very serious, no-nonsense mercenary, not the wacky Merc with the mouth that most fans have in their heads when they think of Deadpool. But which boss fight of Deadpool would you rather have? A super serious cyborg mutant killer? Or a guy who's introduced like this?
Pain Factor! With your host, the anti-hero for hire, the mask for your task, the guy who won't die, Deadpool!
You'd prefer the latter, wouldn't you? That's why we did it. And there's even a bit of an explanation if you go into the bio written for Deadpool. If you read his comic book arc, you know that Deadpool appears to die after Spidey's girlfriend, Kitty Pryde, phases through him, shorting out all the cybernetic circuitry he never should have had to begin with. The story ends with this imagery suggesting that Wadey lived, and he survived having literally been blown up. So that pretty much just messed him up in the head, and he became the Deadpool that everyone actually wants. This may actually be my favorite level in the entire game. Huge props to Beanox and writers Dan Slott and Daniel Strange. And I have a soft spot for this little bit, which was kind of my idea. It's pretty subtle, and you may not have even noticed it when you played through the game. But check out what happens when you pause it.
You're pausing on me? You're pausing on me? Well, I'm the only one here. Who do you think you're pausing on?
Now you're pausing just to pause. Admit it, you have a pausing problem. You're a pauseaholic. Okay, Bear walks into a bar, says, "I'll have a lime and soda." Bartender says, "Why the big pause?"
Oh, look at the widow baby with the cute widow pause button.
Right, go ahead and pause whenever it's convenient for you. What about me? What about my needs? You pause too much. You know what? I'm just gonna keep saying this every time you pause now. The writer has more important dialogue to write for this game. Really? A quick time event? Oh, how exciting.
When the time came for Deadpool's own Marvel Pinball table in 2014, Zen Studios was very receptive to anything I had to contribute. From dialogue...
Prepare yourselves for the greatest pinball gaming experience of all time!
Isn't that a bit of hyperbole?
It'll be better than the Iron Man table anyway.
Touché!
to creative direction in the trailer where I wrote all these post-it notes, to this behind-the-scenes video that featured legendary voice actor Nolan North and some dude who was really incredibly lucky to be there.
In my opinion, the thing that's going to make Deadpool Pinball from Zen so great is just that, once again, Zen finds another way to introduce another Marvel hero into one of its pinball games and make a totally different experience from everything else. It always constantly amazes me. Every time they put out a pinball game, there's some unique mechanic or there's something with the characters that differentiates it, and this time it's definitely the character that's going to differentiate it.
If you played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you know that Deadpool featured prominently in both the vanilla original release and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Huge props to Capcom for totally nailing the character from the start. From his moonwalks during gameplay, to the amazing super move where he bashes people upside the head with his health bar. One thing I was honored to help with in this game was the selection of alternate skins for each Marvel character, Deadpool included. This Cable Pool costume was extremely current at the time, shortly after Cable's apparent death in X-Men Second Coming. And eventually, the Days of Future Now look that you see here was actually adapted to a Mini-Mate, so I guess in some ways I'm a bit of a toy maker. Well, maybe not. Days of Future Now just happened to be written by one of my favorite personalities in comics, Frank Thierry, who did most of the game's dialogue. But I myself was able to contribute some one-off lines here and there, and fans seemed to respond pretty positively to some of them, like these.
Look out!
Here comes the Spider-Man.
Gonna rough you up like a Broadway musical. Ah, that was too easy. Maybe it would have helped if you turned off the dark. You see that? That's how you beat Wolverine, people. And you don't even need optic glass! I just beat Mac freaking Nito! Where your curly mustache at?
My power is unmatched. Magneto, welcome to die!
And of course this one, which I've actually seen on multiple t-shirts. And confession time. I totally stole that concept from the PS2 Futurama game. Every time Fry did this, it made me crack up. It also fell on me to approve Deadpool's theme song, which wasn't something I was rushing to do right away. I mean, listen to this, it's crazy.
Please don't run about in my house. Please don't talk about it. Do it nail. Please don't tell a lie. Please don't make a lie. Please don't never do it. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now. Never. Don't you understand what I mean when I say so? Never do it now. I just don't know why you make me feel like this again. Never do it now. Never.
Like I said, crazy. Which, as a coworker pointed out to me, is what makes it the perfect song for Deadpool. Don't you understand what I mean? What I say? By the way, it's pretty cool that Deadpool's co-creator Rob Liefeld has credited Deadpool Games for setting the stage for the character's true mainstream popularity, especially Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Even LEGO Marvel Superheroes, which I don't have a ton to say about other than it was fun seeing him have such a prominent role in a game of over 100 characters, the ultimate unlockable indeed. I'll never forget the day I saw Rob raving about MVC3 right after it came out. I told him I worked on it, and he tweeted about it, and yeah, that made my day. About a year later, I actually met him in person shortly before the show floor opened on the last day of San Diego Comic-Con. Appropriately, it was at the Gentle Giant booth, looking at their upcoming Deadpool stuff. We had something very new to discuss, because just the day before, something big was announced at the Marvel Games panel.
A game starring yours truly. Come on, let's scratch that Deadpool itch.
Finally, Deadpool's full-fledged solo game developed by High Moon Studios came out in 2013. And for as much well-deserved praise as all the movie's marketing campaigns have received over the past few years, Activision's campaign warrants a similar level of respect. Gags that people associate with the film, like coming out and showing everybody the Deadpool costume on a bear rug like Burt Reynolds, was actually done by the game a few years earlier. Unfortunately, this campaign just didn't have the 20th Century Fox bucks behind it to totally go nuts. Oh, and on a side note, don't believe all those preposterous reports out there that say this was a $100 million video game. No idea where that information originated, other than possibly a joke within the game itself. But the former journalist in me is disappointed by the fact that no one who's reported that information seems to have ever questioned it. I actually don't know for sure what the budget actually was, but the idea that it even approaches 9 figures is absolutely ridiculous. It's still on Wikipedia like that. Somebody go change it, please. So where was I? Oh yeah, the marketing for Deadpool's game. It was a total blast, but the highlight was the actual announcement at San Diego Comic-Con 2012, the day before that Rob Liefeld introduction I mentioned. It wasn't my idea or anything, but as the guy behind the slideshow at the Marvel Games panel, I had a pretty big role. Actually, it all started with this fake piece created as a red herring to make people think we'd be announcing a Hitmonkey game. It leaked accidentally the weekend before, and it worked like a charm. When it came time to officially announce the Hitmonkey game at the panel, this happened, as seen over 4.8 million times on Activision's One of Swords channel. What up, Dan Amrick?
We've been really lucky at High Moon to work on licenses we really care about. And I've been a long time Marvel fan.
Well, excuse me, this is a closed panel.
Who is that?
Now, are you serious right now? You're going to tell me that Marvel is going to make a Hitmonkey game and I don't know, let's say a Deadpool game? If I were you, I would cease talking about Hitmonkey right now, and I would continue to talk about Deadpool immediately. I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Words! Okay, we a lot of talk, a lot of blah, a lot of blah, and a lot of blah. Especially from you, Beardo. Okay, the talking time is over. Is this your face? Is this your face? Is it bothering you? Deal with it! Unbelievable. Now don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are wondering, this is not Kanye West in here. I am very happy for you, but I am not going to let you finish. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special announcement to make. I'm about to make it right now. I am a hologram! I'm a hologram! I'm a hologram! I'm a hologram! Just kidding. JK, LOLs, LOLs. Shout out to Tupac, though. One love, homie. Sorry I shot you! Who has 2 guns and has a video game coming out next year? This guy! Hold your applause. Hold your applause. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Now release! Release! Yes, move! And it smells great. I guess there's only one last thing for me to say. Boom! That just happened! Mic drop!
I will never forget that day. That was an amazing event. The guy who played Deadpool was so good. I wish I knew his name. He wasn't a Slim Jim commercial though. He's this guy. And overall, this campaign was just super fun. We even followed up San Diego Comic-Con with a New York Comic-Con dance-off between our Deadpool and D. Pity, whose recent Gangnam Style video was a YouTube sensation at the time. He still does great stuff. I love that guy. Oh, and working on the game itself was pretty awesome too. So that's not everything by any means, but it's definitely the highlights. I hope you enjoyed playing at least 1 or 2 of these games, because I sure loved working on all of them. Until next time, whenever that might be.